This is the Decade of Dominance All Request Show.
Can you believe this?
Call in to request your favorite moment over the last 10 years of satellite radio glory.
I've never seen anything like this.
1-866-385-4631.
My name is Bill, calling from Greencastle, Pennsylvania. My favorite moment that I'm calling to ask for, Ron Sage. I don't believe I need to say more.
And we got Pat, his father Tom, and his lawyer Ron about to enter the studio. Now, Pat is the Jets fan that was in Indianapolis.
It's all over the news today.
And he got tased by the cop.
Yeah.
He's saying he did nothing wrong.
You're out, Tom.
Come on in.
Really? Sure. Invite him in.
This should be good. Pat with his father and his lawyer.
And his father apparently is a lawyer, too?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm led to believe?
I guess they don't understand the come on in signal.
That's all right. Hello? look at it. You look a little different.
Yeah, right.
Look a little different in a suit.
Come on, all serious.
There they are. Files and paperwork.
Look at this.
Look at this. Damn, it's like...
they got legal briefs.
It's like I'm watching Forensic Files.
They got briefcases and ties.
That's great.
But I see your father's going with...
Get comfortable, gentlemen.
I see, Pat, your father's going with the casual look without the tie on, right? Keeping it casual.
You're the lawyer?
That's the lawyer.
You're the lawyer?
that's
Who's
the
the
lawyer.
father? The father's all dressed up nice,
Father
too?
looks more like the lawyer.
Yeah, I think the lawyer looks more like
The
your
lawyer's
father than the
slacking.
father does.
The lawyer's slacking.
So what's up, guys? A lot of attention there, Pat, huh?
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, you certainly are. You look a little different. What do you do for a living, by the way?
Construction.
Construction?
Underground utility.
So
Okay.
you don't wear that suit often.
Hardly ever.
Yeah. We understand. We're like that,
CNN
too.
and Fox, they,
Yeah, I figured I should try and look a little better.
You look a little,
Normal.
instead of wearing the Jets jersey or something like that.
Right.
We were just watching the clip, and the one clip of the Colts fan with the horsey head talking to the officer is ridiculous.
He's trying to reason with the cop as he has a big blue horse on his head.
A big horsey head on.
Yeah.
Now we've been watching the video. It's been all over TV and the internet all day. Been watching this, and I know NYPD cops pretty well. I think they're a lot more lax and relaxed when situations happen. They'll just sit there and blow it off and go, guys are just blowing off steam. Did these cops seem to be looking for some kind of trouble or?
Yeah, I guess you got to
Possibly.
Actually, Pat, walk us through it. Walk us through it, because we're only seeing the video when
All right.
when the cops are pretty much
right there. He's just like
pushing you around
put
and
your hands
stuff.
behind your back.
Yeah, but
I'm
before this, we want to know what was going on. Like, walk us through.
What started the whole melee?
I don't know. I was just driving. I was walking around, cheering, whatever. They're driving through the tailgate. I didn't know what they were doing, why they were driving through the tailgate. I never saw anybody just drive through a crowd of people like that. And I'm trying to get out of the way. Still trying to have fun though, or whatever. I kind of looked at the guy like I couldn't see in the car or anything. I looked over. I'm like, I couldn't really get much further out of the way. I just give him a little,
like the shrug, kind of, hey, what's up here? Yeah.
What are you doing? And immediately gets out of the car. You're under arrest.
Wow. Did he didn't tell you
say to me?
Oh, really?
Yeah, all kinds of shit.
Wow.
Did you say anything to him?
I said, I'm getting out of the way. What are you talking about? I don't know if I said, what are you talking about?
See, right now he's putting. It looks like. Danny, go back a little bit. This is what we just walk us through, because it looks like the cop is.
He's.
Hold on, wait till we get to the. I wanted to fast forward a little bit.
He certainly does fling you on that trunk. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the cop car is really just driving right through the middle.
Driving
of it.
through people.
Yeah.
There were two cars.
Yeah, two cars.
Two cars.
And
this guy gets
He
out.
gets out of the car. He's walking over to you right now, but it looks like he's pointing over your
You can
right
hear
shoulder.
it on YouTube. He says, what the fuck did you say to me?
Oh, could you turn it up? Do we have the volume?
Or you fucking,
That would help.
He's cursing and.
We're going to listen.
You got a fucking problem?
They single you out.
They said I was cursing at everybody and throwing beer and taunting other fans. None of that is true, which baffles me. I really don't see how they had any reason to arrest me. I missed the whole game. I was just.
Hold, Danny, pause this for 1 second.
Damn.
Yeah, the cop does jump out and go, "What the fuck did you say?" It is almost like a schoolyard thing, like cop jumps out. What the fuck did you say to me?
He said, "What's your fucking problem?"
Yeah.
That's Pat's father, man.
Now, at one point, because as I'm watching the tape, it does look like you're not putting your hands behind your back. That kind of gets.
He didn't
like,
say anything. He said, "Get up against the car," and I'm like, "All right." I get up against the car, and then he's like, I'm like, well, what did I do? I might have said something like that, and then I go to the back of the hood. Like, he throws me to the back of the hood.
Yeah.
I didn't know he wanted me to go to the back of the hood.
Now, when he grabs your arms,
trying to pay attention.
You kind of pull that left arm away
I did
from
a little
him.
bit. I went like this.
And that's when he kind of gets a little rambunctious.
I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but I didn't know he was trying to get me to put my hands behind my back. I was trying to, obey and just get along as easy as possible.
Was pulling your arm forward kind of an instinct because you just all of a sudden 1 minute you're standing there, the next minute you feel like you're being thrown against a car and like, what the fuck?
It was my instinct of like, get off of me, basically. What do you want?
Plus, the cop was treating him like it looked like the cop was trying to treat him like to bitch him out. Like I'm a batter ass. Fuck you. And that's an instinct for a guy to be like, fuck,
So he put you against the car, and then on the next moment, your arms are behind your back. Like he
and then my arms are behind my back, and they're saying, "Put your arms behind your back. Put your arms," and I'm like, they are behind my back right now. And at that time, the taser was on my back too, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So you got tasered?
I didn't actually get tasered. He was, I felt it charged, and I thought I was tasered the whole time in like jail afterwards until yesterday. Somebody said the police reported out that I wasn't actually stunned or anything.
The picture was ominous, where they showed that
his face
front page picture where he's like, ah.
If he was actually tasered, he would have been on the ground like a piece of bacon. frying.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm thinking, well, if I was tasered, I probably would have been a lot.
Yeah.
So now, did they what did they charge you with, if anything?
Disorderly conduct and
Public intoxication.
Public intoxication. Had you been
3 beers?
Drinking 3 beers?
2.5.
Right,
you saw the beer
beers.
get thrown on the
The
ground.
third beer went on the ground right there. You saw it.
How many hot dogs did you have?
I had a decent breakfast.
So
Continental.
Had you been arrested before?
No.
No, so you didn't, know exactly, hey, I put my hands behind my back.
I didn't know what to do.
Oh, okay. So, and then they take you to some kind of holding facility where you then missed the entire game?
Entire game, 8 hours. I was in to both games. I saw half of the Jets game here and there.
Jesus.
And, I like to watch the game. I watched every game this year. Every game probably my life. I don't know.
Wow.
But you weren't tasered. See, I didn't know that. So what is the story now? Like what you get put up against the car. They probably, from what it looks like maybe they overreacted a little bit, and they shouldn't have done that. And the guy was alpha mailing and pissed off that you probably, you were like,
I
watch.
don't know. Yeah, that's what he.
So what is the push of this? Is there a lawsuit or
I'm not sure.
lawyer? What do you think?
I think we're looking at it. I mean, I think my take on this whole thing is that
There, hit a mic there, lawyer.
There it is.
You got me now?
Actually, Ron the lawyer.
Thanks. I think you had some overzealous, out of control police officers, maybe some overzealous Colts fans. I think if he didn't have a Jets jersey on, they probably wouldn't have grabbed him. I also think that what the Indianapolis people have to be concerned about, and we don't blame the Indianapolis people or the Colts, but we think this. I'm saying if he had a Colts jersey on, it wouldn't have happened. I'm saying the Colts people come here to New York. They come to the Meadowlands. Hopefully, there's no retaliation by our local police. But I think I'm concerned about out of state fans, whether they're police or not, abusing our Jets fans. And I hope that there's no retaliation by our local New York police or Jersey police against Indianapolis fans or fans from any other team.
Well, can I ask the attorney? Because you figure it looked like I feel that maybe they overreacted a little bit, but you weren't beaten in custody or anything like that. You weren't injured by the police.
No.
It sucks you missed the game, sure. But what is when you sue? What are you saying? We want
well, let me just tell you this: when you're a 26-year-old kid who's never been in trouble before, and if you look at that film, you see the way that cop grabbed him. You see the way the cop tried to jam his head against the trunk of that police car. You see the way they pushed him around. They treated him like he was their punk, like he was their bitch. That's the way they treated him. And then they grab him, they throw him in the back of the car, they lock him up, they keep him in jail for 8 hours. They kind of tacitly coerce his old man into putting him in a diversionary program, paying $150 and letting him out so he won't have any kind of record and he can go home. If you don't think that traumatizes a kid, you're wrong. It does traumatize a kid because he's never been in trouble before in his life.
Well, he's not a kid; he's an adult. But I'm not saying that you're right to be arrested. But you are an adult.
He's a kid to me.
Well, he's old enough to serve in the military. He's an adult.
Right.
But my issue is, even though I agree it was an overreaction. I do agree with you, but it just seems like, what are you saying when you're suing them, like, to get, well, maybe you should be refunded the game,
I'm saying
even the airline tickets.
I'm saying do something with the police. You see, what you had here was no more than a regular tailgate party. And you've been to a tailgate party at the Meadowlands? This is no different than what was going on there. If you can't get the police who are trained well enough to handle a tailgate party, which is what this was, retrain them, reassign them, get rid of them on the police force, have the police respond in damages somehow so that there's some preventive measure so that they won't do it again.
Wait, can I? Yeah, I know what Jimmy's going to say, and I want to say the same thing. You see the police car going right through the tailgating party. What was going on that they felt like they had to break up that part of the parking lot with their police cars? I'm sure it was just some yelling back and forth between the fans.
No
fights, nothing like that, right?
No fights.
No. So it was just a basic,
just kind of breaking balls, probably.
They wanted the parking spaces. They said they needed. They wanted to make room for other cars to pull in.
So there's no real reason for them to be aggressive with their cars to begin with.
No, they wanted to make. There was a lot of empty spots, and there were people that were going to be coming. This was 2 hours before the game. There were people that were going to be coming that were going to need spots. They had permits, but nobody came and said, we want to park, and we're prevented.
Right.
And they didn't come on a speaker and say, hey, we need to make room.
Sure.
But the one guy with the whistle, I think they were mad about him, and then they came back with a second car, and that's when they drove through the crowd. And then they wrote a report. And what the worst thing about it is they write a report, an affidavit the guy signs that says Pat was cursing, throwing beer at people, and that he then went up to Pat and some other guy, and there was no other guy there when he got arrested, but he wrote an affidavit saying that he arrested 2 people at the same time. And he said, I told those 2 guys to stop, and they refused. They kept cursing at people, and then I put them under arrest. And, when I saw that report, when I got him out of jail, I said to the prosecutor, I said, no, this is the wrong report. This isn't it. And she goes, no, look, there's his name on the bottom. I said, well, that's not what happened.
And it's on video, so.
And then you look at the video, and you look at the report, and it's 2 totally different things.
Wow.
So, they lied on the report.
Okay.
And if they did it to him, they're doing it to other people. So,
Were there any incidents that day, because you're saying they should better train the police department, were there any incidents that day of any type of police brutality or allegations that they, other than this event where they probably overreacted?
Don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
And what are the Colts? What was their response? Have they had a response to you yet?
No.
Okay, so what is it you want from them
Just the
or
police
the city?
department. Speedway.
Well, I want a couple things. Pat doesn't concern about an apology. He's not concerned about an apology, but I think he deserves one. I think I'd like to see these police retrained. I'd like to see them reassigned. I'd like to see them out of the way of, I'm using the expression, kids at these tailgate parties or adults. I mean, if they don't understand that when there's an AFC championship game and people come a couple hundred miles to watch the game, and guys like my 2 friends here who are rabid Jets fans are going to get, the way people get at tailgate parties, then get them the hell out of there.
Is tailgating
put some
legal
police
there?
officers there who have some self-discipline, some self-control, and if not, then they're going to have to pay. They're going to have to pay some money so it doesn't happen to other people.
Can I ask you a
How
question?
about a beer with the president?
My only issue is you're saying you're saying control and stuff. And again, was the cop really out of control?
Yeah, he was out of control.
He didn't hit you.
Look at the tape.
Oh,
he grabs him.
Yeah,
Hey!
Look
Look at the cop who has the taser on the back of his neck, ready to go. He activated that taser. He was ready to go. I don't know if the taser just didn't work at that time, or if he didn't push that button to make it go. But that cop was ready to taser this kid, and this kid didn't do anything.
What if their argument was, though, like, look, we didn't know exactly what condition he was in. You always have to assume the worst when you're dealing with a bunch of rowdy male fans. And you put him up against the car, and his arm did pull away. And again, mine probably would have, too. It's not like you think you were going to beat up cops. But in that moment, your arm pulls away, and then the cop gets behind you with the taser, like, all right, in case, and then nothing happens. Yeah. So he does not use the taser. That, to me,
and that's the same bullshit we hear every time somebody's abused by the police. That's the same bullshit the police always come out with. They show you frame by frame. They say, look, he moved his arm to the left. He's resisting arrest. We were concerned about being assaulted. You hear that crap all the time, and it's bullshit. And it was bullshit in Pat's.
I would agree with you.
Sometimes it's legit, but watching this
What's he said?
as many times, it just seems like he was getting a little overzealous, the officer.
Absolutely.
And to single, you got to look at the whole thing. You can't just look at him slamming him into the trunk. He looked like he singled you out for no apparent reason. Like, I didn't see any reason why he would get out of his car even and approach you. You were doing nothing different than anybody else.
He didn't like your attitude, which I don't think is an arrestable offense.
I didn't even see or hear his attitude.
Cops are nervous too. They're regular guys, and they're going into driving into all these guys, testosterone. They're insecure too. They're real insecure.
You know
and
what?
he was ready.
He
was ready to go, though. He was ready to go.
If they would have just kept driving, there would have been no problem.
Most cops are insecure.
That
guys.
cop going, "What the fuck did you?" That to me is sign the cop is looking to be confrontational, to me, unnecessarily.
And then I say, why doesn't he just say what really happened in his report? I mean, if he felt that way, why didn't he just say what happened? And why did he make up this crap about cursing, throwing beer at people? None of that happened. That's just crazy.
It's when you get into a fight, though. I mean, he was probably nervous too, driving into a bunch of guys.
Right.
You get nervous.
He wasn't in a fight when he wrote that report.
But in your head, you don't the same thing. You don't know the details. After you come out, you're like, oh well, I was so crazy. I don't know what happened.
He should have been,
you know
what I mean? More responsible, I think.
I'm not making an excuse.
Yeah, I know.
You're right.
Just said something, no communication whatsoever to me. I asked a few people, what are they doing here? Nobody knew.
I think a momentary overreaction by a cop in that moment,
right?
It doesn't justify retraining. Had he used that taser, totally different. I mean, had he tased you,
the picture on the front
ground,
page of the paper was like, wow, this kid got tased.
Yeah,
and lucky for him, you're a white kid because oh boy, if you'd have been
a plunger,
if you'd have been a black kid, that would have been all over Johnny. That cop would be somewhere fired, suspended. Something like that.
Keith Robinson got cops on him, and they pepper sprayed him, and he pooped his pants.
Yeah, he shit his pants. And they should have pepper sprayed him. He was 6 cops. He's a comedian we know.
Well,
and he just wouldn't put his hands behind his back.
Keith is an ass.
Keith is an animal.
Then he goes like this, pepper spray me, bitch. I eat that for breakfast. And they did, and he went, ah!
And they gave him some breakfast, and he shit his pants.
He shit his pants.
Oh, my God.
How did I not know about this?
Hold on, we got a couple of really good phone calls coming in here. If the lawyer, get some headphones.
Who, for the lawyer or Roger Daltrey?
I can't wait to see it at halftime, sir.
No problem.
Roger D.
He's on a show called Kung Fu.
And maybe the cop didn't like Will Ferrell movies or something. It looks like Will Ferrell.
Russell Peters has made a show here. Let's say hi to Mike in New York. Mike.
Call, can you hear? Make sure
hey, what's going on?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, listen, this kid got a bad beat. All right, what happened? It sounds like, yeah, he got assaulted and he got a bad beat. He got thrown in jail. Okay, it happens. But Jimmy, I think you're hitting a fair point. What are you getting out of this? This is where the lawyers come in, and I see this as a financial opportunity. The lawyers are going to hop all over it. You know what, kid? I think you should be reimbursed for your tickets. But these lawyers come in and they start telling them, look, financial opportunity. That's the problem with America today, is that the lawyers are all over the place.
Well, you think this is an issue of financial opportunity for the lawyers? Then you're an asshole. How about that? Because this guy's got nothing to do with financial opportunity, jerk off. This has to do with the fact that a kid who drove hundreds of miles to get to a football game to watch a team he's been cheering for since he was born get thrown in jail for 8 hours and get kicked around by the police. If you think this is a financial opportunity for lawyers, then you got some retraining to do yourself, pal.
Did you fly or drive?
They
flew.
Do you get that? You think this is a financial opportunity? I'm talking about retraining. I'm talking about reassigning. I'm talking about not having some out of control asshole go grabbing a kid because he doesn't know how to handle a tailgate party, which is no different from any party that you might ever been to at the Meadowlands. You get that? Do you get that?
I think
because if you don't get that, then get the hell off the phone because you're wasting my time.
This lawyer's going to tase you.
Wow. All right, let's go to the next call.
Verbally tased.
We got someone calling from Indianapolis. Steve.
Hey, boys. Thanks for taking the call. First of all, thanks for coming to Indianapolis and spending your hard-earned money. We can use the cash here. Second of all, to the attorney, I believe you said it twice that you hope that it doesn't happen to Indianapolis Colts fans when they come to the Meadowlands by the local police. And I see that as a threat. And also, by the way you just handled that last call, you're clearly doing a disservice to your profession by calling somebody an asshole when you're there on the time. Come on, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not sure what your question is, but you know what? But whatever it is, if you perceive of what I'm saying as a threat, I'm just telling you this. I don't. But there are those people who would think that if a Jets fan goes out to Indianapolis and he's treated the way this kid was treated out there, that it is possible that we got some loose heads out here in the New York, New Jersey area that might get a hold of somebody in a Colts jersey who had a few drinks and decide to treat him the same way. How'd you like that if that was your brother, your mother, your father, or your kid, son? How would you like that before you start talking about out of control?
It sounds like he pulled away from the cop, which is clearly actionable by the police officer to protect himself. He didn't
pulled away from the cop. You sound like somebody who'd be defending Rodney King.
Dude, no, I'm not. And the Indianapolis Police Department, by the way, they have to patrol this thing called Black Expo every year in Indianapolis, which every black youth comes out to party his ass off.
So now you're a racist on top of being an asshole. Now you're a racist. Now you're a racist. Now you're putting the black white thing into this. What? I know this is radio, pal, but these are white people we're talking about here. This has got nothing to do with black people.
You're not demonstrating your professionalism by using that type of words. I mean, you can do that on the opening NAC show, but come on, you're there as an attorney. Why don't you use some regular words?
You mean like you just did? Like fucking? Like you just did? What do you do for a living, character?
I'm a salesperson.
What do you do?
I'm a salesperson.
You're a salesperson. What do you sell?
I sell pharmaceuticals.
Oh, you sell pharmaceuticals. Well, that's a great industry.
Drug dealer.
Hey, you're a goddamn drug dealer is what you are. Hey, listen, friend, I want to tell you this, too. I want to tell you this. Now, shut up and listen for a second. My friends tell me that they found everybody in Indianapolis to be some of the most gentlemanly, kindest, nicest people they had ever run across. And the statements we make about the police involved in this incident, perhaps, and I'm not sure, but perhaps some rogue cops who lost control of themselves for a few minutes. What I'm telling you is that is not to us meant to characterize the entire folks out there in Indianapolis. These guys tell me that they had a great experience out there until this incident happened. They got nothing but high opinions of the Indianapolis folks out there, and probably the police out there are a good bunch, and we get it. You know what? I'm a prosecutor locally where I come from, and I work with police on a regular basis, but I recognize there are rogue police officers out there. I'm not saying these are rogue police officers, but I'm saying these are not police officers who ought to be assigned to handle tailgate parties. You really disagree with that? I mean, if you looked at that tape, you think this kid, are you telling me you think this kid to be deserved to be roughed up, handcuffed, thrown in a car, locked up for 8 hours? Are you telling me you think that was okay? Yeah. Are you telling me you think that was okay or not?
He's gone there, sir.
All right.
I have a question for the attorney. What's your name? I don't want to just keep calling you.
Ron Sage.
Do you handle cases of talent who has disputes with their radio companies?
Right Ron, we want to talk after the show.
We have some things to be worked out here.
We want to hire you to talk to our bosses, set them straight.
You can sit.
I want you to call them friend and pal and champ and all that.
Can Ron sit up straight if he wants to? Ron, you can if you want. They extend. I like it the other way. Hey, hold on. There's been a dispute here. You said drove for 8 hours, and you said Continental for the breakfast. Did you fly in?
No, the Continental breakfast.
Oh, okay. I think
we stayed the night before.
Okay.
We flew out of Philly to Washington to Dayton.
Okay.
And then drove about an hour and a half out of Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
Damn.
And then the way home, our flight got canceled out of Washington, which sucked. We were flying out of Washington. We had to rent a car to Philadelphia.
I think the Colts should forfeit the Super Bowl because of this. Let the Jets go in. That's what I think. Can you get that, Ron?
Pat, you didn't miss anything. The game sucked.
You missed 2 good quarters.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, imagine if they won. How pissed you'd be.
Man.
Oh man.
Hey, we got
You're really fighting for Super Bowl.
We got some inside info here. Who's this, sir?
Hello?
Yeah, you, brother. Go.
It's Exec Protect. How you doing, guys?
All right, man.
Hey, Ron, question.
Yeah.
Cop, a reserve cop. Did I read that?
I understand he was specially assigned.
Oh, boy.
Was he special ed assigned, or was he...
Was he a part-time cop?
I understand he's a full-time cop somewhere, but was specially assigned to a security detail at the game.
Okay, which means that he probably doesn't know how to handle crowd control, right?
Well, he didn't know how to handle this crowd control.
No, without it, because if you look at the video, you could see, and being I'm a security specialist, and reaction and people's body language, and I'm sure you can understand that being a prosecutor. You could see how he just seems to be. I live upstate New York, where they have these part-time policemen, and these guys get about six. I think it's 6 months of training or 6 weeks of training, and usually it's the guys who cannot become full-time policemen. I thought I read somewhere he was a reserve cop.
Dude, what mall do you work at?
I don't. Anthony, obviously,
all right. All right, let's say hi. Everybody wants in. Let's say hi to Jared. Jared.
Hey, Jared, what's up, man?
Jared.
Speak and be spoken to.
Oh, my God. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, bud.
Hey, man. Look, Jimmy said it a little while ago. This guy is 26 years old. He's not a kid. Stop referring to him as a kid. He's an adult. It sucks he went to jail. Boo fucking who? I went to jail at Mardi Gras. Fucking deal with it. Quit calling him a kid. He's an adult.
Is that your problem? I'm calling him a kid? Is that why you're calling? Because you got a problem maybe referring to a 26-year-old guy as a kid? Is that your problem?
No, sir. I don't.
All right. Well, then what is your problem? What is your problem? And why did you get arrested at Mardi Gras? What the hell did you do at Mardi Gras? And did you deserve to be arrested? Did you deserve to be arrested at Mardi Gras? Did you? Did you deserve to get arrested at Mardi Gras?
No, sir. Somebody pushed me, and I bumped into a cop. I went to jail for 8 hours.
You punched the cop. You punched the cop. Did you see this tape? Did you see this kid do anything? You punched the cop.
Not a kid. Stop it.
Your problem is referring to him as a kid. How old are you, pal?
I'm 43, sir.
And you punched the cop. How old were you when you punched the cop? How old were you punched the cop?
Look,
how old were you when you punched the cop?
Oh, man.
How old were you when you punched the cop? Were you over 30?
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Whatever, dude. Another asshole. Okay, let's go.
To sit in front of this guy and cross.
Jimmy, don't let this guy get off with this shit.
All right, let's go to Mike in Boston.
All right.
Mike.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
What's up?
Hey, this is for the lawyer. You mentioned that you wanted the police in Indianapolis to be retrained.
Yeah.
And then you, which I can understand, but you also mentioned that you're worried about the New York and New Jersey cops coming back at Indianapolis fans. Do you have any intention of training or putting forth some sort of action to train these hypothetical New York and New Jersey cops that are going to rough up an Indy fan?
Hey, you know what? Have you ever heard of this happening in the Meadowlands? And you haven't, have you? And the reason you haven't is because down here we train our cops so that they know how to handle tailgate parties, which is what this was. This wasn't some out-of-control crazy affair. This tailgate parties with young people and older people who were drinking, who were partying. Huh?
You said you're afraid of it happening.
Well, you know what? I mean, frankly speaking, there are those people who saw this incident and said, what the hell are the Indianapolis police doing? If it's Indianapolis police, I understand it's Speedway police or some adjacent town. What are they doing thinking about tasering a kid for nothing? And I'm saying that there are those people who might be thinking about, hey, you know, maybe somebody with a Colts jersey on ought to have a taser stuck on the back of his neck and locked up for 8 hours to see whether or not this is the kind of behavior that's approved on. That's all I'm saying.
So you're worried about it. So what actions are you going to take to prevent that from happening? Since you're so concerned about this happening in New York and New Jersey.
Well, what action you think I'm going to take, jerk off? I'm not the governor of the state. I'm not the governor of their state. I'm just another schmuck lawyer from a small town. I'm just some country bumpkin from Freehold, New Jersey. The hell you think I'm going to do about it? I can't make the law. Come on.
Because you want to make changes happen in Indianapolis, though, don't you?
I want these cops to be retrained or reassigned. Sure, they can't handle crowd control. They can't handle a tailgate party. You want your kid to be at a tailgate party where this kind of crap happens to a 26-year-old guy? I mean, for nothing? You want your kid subjected to that? You want him locked up for 8 hours in front of his dad? You want him to be traumatized?
That's not what I called about.
Think that's okay? Then what did you call about?
Did you forget my question already?
I think you might have forgot your question. You want me to come up with some retraining for the Meadowlands police who don't need it is what I got, and I think maybe you're smoking something because you don't seem to get the drift of this conversation.
Your comment earlier said you were worried about it happening.
I'm concerned. There might be some folks who think about retaliation. Let me tell you something. If this kid had a Colts jersey on, I don't think it would have happened to him. But he had a Jets jersey on, and I think that had something to do with this incident.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
You are going to pursue some sort of action to prevent it from happening from the New York or New Jersey Police Department, is what you're saying.
Well, you know, I don't pursue anything involving the New York, New Jersey Police Department because I don't have that kind of authority. You get that? You get that? I'm not the governor of the state. I'm not a senator. I'm not a congressman. I'm nothing like that.
Do you have that authority in Indianapolis, then?
Just a suggestion, just a recommendation, son. Calm down.
All right, let's go to Brian in Nebraska. Brian.
Yes.
I got to say, man, Ron's got the phones lit. Yes, Brian.
What about the cop side of this? I mean, have you ever thought about them having to deal with all those drunk assholes all the time?
Yeah, but have you ever thought about this kid not being one of them drunk assholes? What do you think? The police should regard everybody as a drunken asshole and treat everybody like they're drunken assholes because they have a couple of drunken assholes?
Everybody says they always had a couple. Shit, they have always more than that.
Ooh. You think this kid was one? Did you see the tape here?
No, I haven't seen the tape
Then
yet.
get off the phone. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Watch the tape. Call me back. Watch the tape. Call me back.
All right, let's go to Kevin from Connecticut. Kevin.
I will talk to the lawyer.
Yeah.
Ron is here.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed Asma, can you back off the mic? Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Well, he was getting excited. He was breathing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Ron, you were breathing
about it.
Insulting. I was breathing too loud.
You're going to stop him from breathing, asshole?
Let's go to Jonathan from Connecticut. Jonathan.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I'm an attorney in New York and Connecticut. I agree completely with this attorney. I just think he's made a slight error in not being more specific. There's no money involved in this for this lawyer. He's not going to make jack shit.
Thank you.
It's a minimalist case. It's something called deterrence. He's trying to deter this shit from happening ever again.
Thanks.
To anybody else in any city, whether
You
it's
got
New
it.
York,
You got
New
it.
Jersey, or Indianapolis, or my fucking state of Connecticut.
You got it.
That has
You
no
got it, pal.
teams.
You got it.
Yeah.
Hey, does Pat have a record now?
Whalers left.
There's nothing. Lacrosse.
No record.
No record for
He's got
Pat?
an arrest record, actually.
I was going to
Really?
say, can you guys get the arrest record removed? Do you know that?
Well, he's not going to have a record when this is done because his dad. Here, let me have his dad answer that question. Hang on a second.
The papers that he actually signed said that he had we were just trying to get out of Dodge that night, and the papers that he signed for this agreement said that he had to agree that he couldn't expunge the arrest record. I didn't understand that, but
what?
it's a dismissal, but there'll be an arrest record.
Why wouldn't they want? Why would the cops want you to sign that? Because does it make them look bad or like they wasted time if it's expunged?
They wanted him to sign a paper that would basically, I think the idea behind it was to relieve them from any potential liability. And, I think, reading between the lines on that, that's what it says. Whether it actually does or not remains to be seen.
Right. If they drop the charges, then it's like they're probably thinking you could step in and go, all right, now look at what you did to me for nothing.
Yeah.
Instead of having some kind of charges there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got more people on the phone, too.
Oh, yeah, we got
God,
this guy from Long Island. Sir, what do you got for the lawyer or Pat or Pat's father, Tom?
For the lawyer, what I have is if you get a settlement or they offer you a settlement, are you going to turn down a settlement and go through with what you want to go through with, or are you going to take the settlement?
Well, see, first off, I have clients. I don't make these decisions. These decisions are made by my clients to what they want to accept. But in terms of whether a settlement would be accepted, I agree with the lawyer who just called in from, I believe, Connecticut, and that is my primary focus. And there may be Indiana lawyers involved in this case or Illinois lawyers at some point in time, but my primary focus is to make sure this kind of crap doesn't happen again. Period.
Okay.
Out there or anywhere else. That's my primary focus.
My name is Taint Lover, by the way. But anyway, what I wanted to say was, the
Who the hell named you that? What the hell? Your mother looked at you when you were born and said, "I'm gonna name you Taint Lover." The hell was wrong with your father?
Not all inclusive of the whole incident. The taint's not all inclusive, and we'll find out at trial.
Yeah, we'll find out. Stay tuned.
All right, we got Norm in Cape Cod. Norm?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
This lawyer is just such a piece of trash. He's a typical ambulance chaser. For him to sit here and say he wouldn't make any money off a civil suit is a complete lie. The kid signed off saying that basically that he had done something, and he signed off. He's done. That's all. End of discussion.
That's the end of discussion? Then shut the fuck up and get off the phone, you stupid asshole. You're completely wrong. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You talk like a goddamn asshole. You don't have any common sense. You don't know what you're talking about. Did you even see the tape here? Did you even see the tape?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
You see the tape? What do you think? What did you see the boy do wrong?
You're an ambulance
What did you see the boy do wrong?
When you went to
What did you see the boy do wrong before we shut off your mic?
What part of your lobe did you have removed when you went to get your law degree? You're a piece of shit.
All right.
That's all you are. That's all you are. You're an ambulance chaser. Look at your own website. Look at your own website, garbage.
Ooh. Okay, nice
Look
talking to you.
Look at your own website. Oh, I won't charge you until we get a settlement.
All right.
Right. All right. Next case.
Wow.
Vicious. He's very bitter.
Where's Tom? Is he
He
hiding?
wouldn't say. He wouldn't say what he saw on that tape, though.
Hey, are you
Ron single?
Hey, Ron, are you a family friend besides the lawyer? It seems like you guys know each other pretty well.
I've known Pat since he was born, and Tom and I used to work together for years.
Right on. All right, let me say hi to Cody and PA. I don't know what he wants to talk about. Let's see. Cody.
Hey, yes, I just wanted to have a comment for Ron.
Sure. He's the lawyer. Yep.
Yeah, there's lawyers like you are like tampons. Every push that kid needs one.
Oh, that's a horrible joke.
Oh, man.
What does that mean?
You are an obvious asshole, too. I'll tell you. This is it's just... I don't know. You know, I say it to you, this is one asshole call after another. I swear to God,
right,
one
look.
stupid ass joke after another. What do you do for a living, pal?
He's gone. Let's go to Jim in Boston. Jim.
Yeah.
Well, this is what kind of fucks with me. Like, during the actual arrest, maybe it was a stressful situation, the cop might have overreacted, you can maybe explain that away. But afterwards, when he files a false police report, there's no stress. He's not in a crowd. He's by himself lying on a police report.
Absolutely. That's the problem. You got it nailed. I'm going to let his father respond to that. I'm going to let Tom Allen respond to that. He's an attorney as well. Hang on just a second.
All right, well, fuck Joe DeRosa.
Yeah, absolutely. He was part of the case. You just don't know it yet. Tom?
That's what it's all about. That's, Pat was in jail. He shouldn't have been. But the worst part about it is they lied about him. They said that he was drunk. He wasn't. They said that he was cursing at people. He wasn't. They said he was throwing beer at people. He wasn't. They even said that he tried to go up to him and tell him to stop, and he didn't. It's not just one. I mean, it wasn't little mistakes that he made writing a report. These were bold-faced lies. I mean, he sat down and tried to explain why they treated him so badly. But unfortunately, it was on video. Unfortunately, there was a New York Post. Unfortunately for him, there was a New York Post photographer right there and people videotaping it. And then he got caught in a lie.
I don't think that's unfortunate. Someday you guys are going to love that front page. You know that. Someday you're going to love that one.
That was cool. It was,
We've been on the front page before, and trust me, enough time goes by, you're like, hey, that's pretty fucking cool.
Fantastic. And for the callers using profanity, serious calls only, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to Charlie in Philly. Charlie.
What's up, boys?
Hey.
Hey, Ron, right?
Yeah, Ron.
The lawyer. Hey, how you doing? I just want to say you're a breath of fresh air. I like how you are. You shoot from the hip. You tell it how it is. None of this
more cliches.
Your garbage. But I gotta say, I hope you win this case, because there's a case in Philly where an off-duty police officer shot a 19-year-old kid in cold blood at a party. These cops take their authority way too far, and they're trained to be level-headed when they get into a situation. These guys are just too quick with the trigger.
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. There you go. Let's go to Peter in Massachusetts.
I don't know. I want to say I don't know the specifics of that case, but until I'm not passing judgment on anybody.
There you
Exactly. What was the guy doing at the party?
Exactly.
Maybe he took all the chips.
Yes.
we
could
need
have double dipped.
We need more details on that case. Let's go to Peter in Massachusetts. Peter.
Yeah, I'd like to know what this shyster's charging this unemployed alcoholic to fucking get some money.
Ron, you like to tip him back a little bit?
Well, if you were listening, my friend, you'd understand this is a construction worker. This is not an unemployed alcoholic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where's he fucking work? At the fucking local bar, lifting 16-ounce curls? You fucking shyster pig. Go fuck yourself.
Guy.
You sound a little bitter. You might have had a few issues yourself. Have you ever been institutionalized? Have you ever been institutionalized? Seriously, have you ever had any mental counseling, anything like that? You sound like you're a little unglued. Sound like you're a little bitter. Sound like you got a few issues.
Yeah, I do. I have issues with fucking shysters who go after police officers for doing their fucking job, you fat fuck.
Doesn't even know what he looks like.
Wait.
Sorry, Bobby.
He's actually in shape for an older guy.
He wasn't talking to me, Opie. He was talking to Ron.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you fluctuate. You fluctuate, Bobby. Don't worry about that.
Fluctuating Bob.
Bobby says money is open.
Hey, have I still got you on the line?
Ron, we got him, Ron.
You still on the line?
Yes.
The Ron kind.
All right. Are you still on the line here, pal?
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I'm here, you fucker.
All right. Well, you do sound a little better. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Why don't you take a breath here for a second? Hey, listen. Did you see the tape we're talking about here this morning? Did you see the tape?
Why don't you go fucking shove your fist up your ass and jerk off on your fat wife, you fucking scumbag?
Now he's just.
He's still not talking about
Somehow
me.
I'm thinking this isn't a productive conversation.
No. I don't see this as being productive. No. Jesus Christ.
Get rid of this asshole, will you?
All right, we got some intelligence here. Jeremy in New York. Jeremy.
Oh, Ron the lawyer is a cunt.
Stop. How about some
talk is that?
serious calls here?
Serious calls only.
Let's go to Fred in Brooklyn. Fred.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, Fred from Brooklyn. What's up, brother?
I just love hearing a real guy not talking legalese. The guy is a straight shooter. The lawyer is standing up for what he thinks is right, and he's saying it in real words, not legalese, and you got to pat him on the back for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you got a lot of.
I like this guy. He's got chutzpah.
I think you got a lot of fans, Ron.
I wish he was my divorce lawyer. That's for sure. That would have worked out well.
You don't talk like that in court, I hope. Your Honor, do you really believe this cunt did what that says she did?
Well, you know. The fact is, I do have a few contempt convictions and a few reprimands, but
Of course you do.
But they were all baseless.
Yeah, of course. You're Jeffrey Tambor on Justice for All.
Wait, how do you two know each other, Ron and the father there, Tom? You guys go way back.
We go way back. We
What are you, like,
go way
fraternity
back.
brothers? What is it?
No, Tom and I actually worked together for about 8 years back in the 80s.
Wow. Oh, there you go.
What went wrong?
He decided he had a way to make more money.
Oh, shit. And left you behind, right?
Left me behind. Goddamn gutter.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection overruled. Well, aren't you an asshole?
Oh, my God.
Probably ask the judge what they do for a living.
What do you do, pal? You look stupid in that faggoty robe.
These guys are doing a lot of media today, and I'm assuming it's a little different when you're on like Fox News and all that, right?
Probably.
Just a little different.
It's blown off steam.
Yeah.
That's it.
We have another call for Ron. I mean, or for either one of these guys. I mean,
Pat, you're okay. You're well
I'm
represented.
okay. I'm having a good
Congratulations
time.
on this massive lawsuit you're going to win down the road.
All right.
Yeah. A lot of.
Well,
Good job, character.
Hopefully.
Let's go to Derek in Iowa. Derek.
Hey, morning, boys.
D-boy.
Hey.
Hey, Ron keeps mentioning rogue cop. I just thought, why don't you guys just ask Bob Kelly what this cop was thinking, since he's another rogue cop?
Yeah, Bobby knows a lot about rogue cops.
Yeah, Ron, I'm a rogue cop too.
He plays one
on TV.
Really?
Well, not yet, but it's coming.
Well, hey, let me straighten you out on something. This may have been a rogue cop. I can't clearly say this is a rogue cop. I'm saying it's a cop who has to actually have better control over his self-discipline and understand how to handle something on the level of a tailgate party.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, that's all we're really talking about here. I'm not talking about a cop who shot somebody. I'm not talking about a cop who beat the shit out of somebody like a Rodney King. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody who just needs a little understanding about how to handle crowd control at a tailgate party before a championship AFC game. That's all I'm talking about here.
Do you want to see this cop fired, Ron?
No, not necessarily. I'd just like to see, as I say, retrained. I'd like to see somebody talk to him. I'd like to see him trained so that he doesn't think he can just grab a kid in a Jets jersey because he's in a bad mood. Maybe he's an avid Colts fan. He gets carried away and he starts thinking it's okay to slam a kid against the car, put a taser against his head, and lock him up for 8 hours. Whether he's going to get fired or not, I'm not out messing with people's family lives, and I don't know anything about this guy. Could be the nicest guy in the world under other circumstances. Was he out of control that day? Absolutely out of control, and that's not a question of dispute. There's no facts in dispute here because we got it on video. Take a look at it.
Hey,
you tell me.
Ron, I got to ask you one more question. Now they're saying that Pat was drunk and unruly, right? Did they ever give you a breathalyzer
No, nothing like
or
that.
a blood test or any of that
They
to
didn't
prove
ask
that
me
you
a
were drunk?
question. It was just immediately
Wow.
in the car.
How do they give you public intoxication if they
I
don't?
don't know. They were making shit up, I guess.
Breathalyze you.
Were they nice to you while you were in jail after it was all over?
The guards were all
really nice to you.
nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do they have a TV so you could at least watch?
Yeah, but it was hard sometimes to watch. I had to do all this other processing.
Too busy making sure you weren't raped, right?
No, it was pretty relaxing there, except for when
You
they're
get raped for 6 hours in jail.
Hey, man, if you're in a
You're
cell,
gay.
you never fucking know who else is in there.
It's not Oz,
right? Ron understands. Ron knows.
Well, Ron, what about the
Ron
San
was
Diego
worried about his
incident?
safety while he was in jail.
There was a San Diego incident that I was informed of where a Jets fan was arrested for just cheering among the fans. And it was on what is that about?
Yes.
I don't know what that's all about. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard about that.
Okay, that might be a good. Maybe there is something about Jets fans.
We'll look into that. Why not?
That was a week earlier at the championship game in San Diego.
Okay, yeah, he just told me that. I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, that was on YouTube also.
Adam in Brooklyn. A lot of Brooklyn calls today. Adam.
How you doing, boys? I got a question for Ron the lawyer. Have you ever been thrown out of court before for saying objection jerk off or calling the judge a jerk off or something?
Well, I've been convicted of contempt of court, but never for calling the judge a jerk off. I mean, there are times when I have felt like calling judges jerk offs because, to be quite frank, there are those judges who one could reasonably describe with that terminology. But frankly, no, that hasn't happened to me because, we all have to control ourselves in certain forums because, we all got to serve somebody. That's what I do for a living. So I can't go calling people jerk-offs because I just disagree with them. This is a different situation.
He knows in this forum, right? He can
understand this is a different situation.
In a different way.
What you're hearing today is my reaction to seeing a young kid. Now somebody objected to my calling him a young kid because he's 26 years old, but I've known him since he was 2 years old. And watching a kid who I know has never had a problem in his life, who's not a drunk, who wasn't drinking much. I looked at the video a dozen times, and I saw a kid being slammed against a car. I saw a kid being come next to being tasered. I saw a taser pressed against his head. I saw the look on the cop's face, which was vicious, as he looked like he couldn't wait to put that taser in action if this kid moved another inch. Watched him thrown in the back of a car, locked up for 8 hours. Come on, that's what you're hearing. That's what you're hearing today. You're not hearing disrespect towards all authority. You're not hearing disrespect toward judges. You're hearing my reaction to something that's a real injustice, and I want to discourage people from behaving like that again. That's all you're hearing now.
I want to sue because we miss out on another good YouTube tasering. Mm-hmm. Boy, you'd have been a big. You're a big hit and everything, but boy, if you would have hit the deck, that would have been a good one.
You should take one for the team, man.
For everyone else,
we love laughing at those videos.
It's like I didn't do anything. I'm not putting my hands behind my. I'll do anything. Whatever. Okay.
Let's go to Brian.
Don't tase me, bro.
These guys are from Freehold, and we got Brian on the line from Freehold as well. Brian.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hey, I'm an attorney. I know these guys not personally, but their reputations, Tommy Mallon and Ron Sage, are stellar. And they're well-liked by cops, and they're well-liked by the bar. And, I wish I had the case, Ron. You're but there's no way this kid did anything wrong. I saw the video already, and this is really, sometimes you get cops that do the wrong thing, and that's all there is to it.
Thanks, brother.
Not just going to blindly...
All right, we're losing you. Mike in Orlando. Mike,
support,
wrapping up with these guys, but everyone wants in. Mike?
Hey, I just wanted to know, Ron, there, once these tapes of the show were revealed, what an ass you are.
Like what you hear? Holla. See it, too. Treat your senses to everything that's going on with Opie and Jimmy's show on the internet. Follow at Opie and Jimmy on Twitter and Facebook.
That's terrific. Okay.
To look at what we look at.
That's a nice plug-ola.
That's Opie and Jimmy on Facebook.
Sweet.
And Opie and Jimmy on Twitter.
Sweet.
The next time we watch videos on the radio, you can watch them too.
I fucking did it, you dummy.
Now, we've been watching the video. It's been all over TV and the internet all day. Been watching this. And I know NYPD cops pretty well. I think they're a lot more lax and relaxed when situations happen. They'll just sit there and blow it off and go, guys are just blowing off steam. Did these cops seem to be looking for some kind of trouble or...
Yeah, I guess you got to
possibly.
Pat, walk us through it. Walk us through it, because we're only seeing the video when the cops are pretty much
right there. He's just like
pushing you around and
put your
stuff.
hands behind your back.
Yeah, but before this, we want to know what was going on. Like, walk us through.
What started the whole melee?
I don't know. I was just driving. I was walking around, cheering, whatever. They're driving through the tailgate. I didn't know what they were doing, why they were driving through the tailgate. I never saw anybody just drive through a crowd of people like that. And I'm trying to get out of the way. Still trying to have fun though, or whatever.
They single you out.
They said I was cursing at everybody and throwing beer and taunting other fans. None of that is true, which baffles me. I really don't see how they had any reason to arrest me. I missed the whole game. I was just...
Hold, Danny, pause this for 1 second.
Damn.
Yeah, the cop does jump out and go, "What the fuck did you say?" It is almost like a schoolyard thing. Like, cop jumps out. "What the fuck did you say to me?"
He said, "What's your fucking problem?"
Yeah.
That's Pat's father, man.
Now, at one point, because as I'm watching the tape, it does look like you're not putting your hands behind your back. That kind of gets.
He didn't
like,
say anything. He said, "Get up against the car," and I'm like, "All right." I get up against the car, and then he's like, I'm like, well, what did I do? I might have said something like that, and then I go to the back of the hood. Like, he throws me to the back of the hood.
Yeah.
I didn't know he wanted me to go to the back of the hood.
Now, when he grabs your arms,
trying to pay attention.
you kind of pull that left arm away from him.
This is the Decade of Dominance All Request Show.
Can you believe this?
Call in to request your favorite moment over the last 10 years of satellite radio glory.
I've never seen anything like this.
1-866-385-4631.
My name is Bill, calling from Greencastle, Pennsylvania. My favorite moment that I'm calling to ask for, Ron Sage. I don't believe I need to say more.
And we got Pat, his father Tom, and his lawyer Ron about to enter the studio. Now, Pat is the Jets fan that was in Indianapolis.
It's all over the news today.
And he got tased by the cop.
Yeah.
He's saying he did nothing wrong.
You're out, Tom.
Come on in.
Really? Sure. Invite him in.
This should be good. Pat with his father and his lawyer.
And his father apparently is a lawyer, too?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm led to believe?
I guess they don't understand the come on in signal.
That's all right. Hello. Look at it. You look a little different.
Yeah, right.
Look a little different in a suit.
Come on, all serious.
Yeah, they are. Files and paperwork.
Look at this.
Look at this. Damn, it's like...
they got legal briefs.
It's like I'm watching forensic files.
They got briefcases and ties.
That's great.
But I see your father's going with...
Get comfortable, gentlemen.
I see, Pat, your father's going with the casual look without the tie on, right? Keeping it casual.
You're the lawyer?
That's the lawyer.
You're the lawyer?
That's
Who's the
lawyer.
father? The father's all dressed up nice,
Father
too?
looks more like the lawyer.
Yeah, I think the lawyer looks more like
The
your
lawyer's
father than the
slacking.
father does.
The lawyer's slacking.
So what's up, guys? A lot of attention there, Pat, huh?
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Yeah, you certainly are. You look a little different. What do you do for a living, by the way?
Construction.
Construction?
Underground utility.
So you don't wear that suit often?
Hardly ever.
Yeah. We understand. We're like that,
CNN
too.
and Fox,
Yeah, I figured I should try and look a little better.
You look a little,
normal.
instead of wearing the Jets jersey or something like that.
Right.
We were just watching the clip, and the one clip of the Colts fan with the horsey head talking to the officer is ridiculous.
He's trying to reason with the cop as he has a big blue horse on his head.
A big horsey head.
I kind of looked at the guy like I couldn't see in the car or anything. I looked over. I'm like, I couldn't really get much further out of the way. I just give him a little,
like the shrug, kind of, hey, what's up here? Yeah.
What are you doing? And immediately gets out of the car. You're under arrest.
Wow. Did he? He didn't tell you
say
for
to me?
Oh, really?
Yeah, all kinds of shit.
Wow.
Did you say anything to him?
I said, I'm getting out of the way. What are you talking about? I don't know if I said, what are you talking about?
See, right now he's put. It looks like Danny, go back a little bit. This is what we just walk us through it because it looks like the cop is. He's. Hold on, wait till we get to the. I wanted to fast forward a little bit.
He certainly does fling you on that trunk. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, the cop car is really just driving right through the middle.
Driving through people.
Yeah.
What looks like
There were two cars.
Yeah, two cars.
And
this guy gets
He
out.
gets out of the car. He's walking over to you right now, but it looks like he's pointing over your
You can
right
hear
shoulder.
it on YouTube. He says, "What the fuck did you say to me?"
Oh, could you turn it up? Do we have the volume?
Or you fucking,
would help.
He's cursing and.
We're gonna listen.
You got a fucking problem?